I was joking with Aladdin the other day. I was thinking about it while I was at work. You know, the movie, you know how Aladdin starts? Like the dude, like the street seller.
Yeah.
Like, what time is it? It's like, who is this guy? Why are you selling stuff? I was like, does the movie Aladdin open with a crack dealer? Like,
come on, Benny, man. The kid is a L7 Weenie.
I wanted to protect you, but I don't have COVID.
oh, I thought you were gonna say I only had one mask.
Oh no.
I was about to say like,
Actually, I forgot to bring yours. I did have one for you.
Oh, that's fine.
And I forgot it on the counter. But you know, people are funny about.
You want to scoot your chair back some, or?
No, I'm good. This is
okay.
good.
All right, so let's start with the obvious. What happened to your foot?
Oh, what makes you think something happened? It's actually my toe.
Giant boot.
It's my toe.
Okay.
My great toe. Do you know that's what your big toe is called?
It's called the great toe?
It's called a great toe.
So I think I like big toe.
Great toe, long toe, middle toe, something toe, and then pinky toe.
Something toe.
Something toe.
How you gotta be offering up the knowledge of the
I
great
forgot
toe?
just that quick.
But then it's like,
toe knowledge.
there's that random toe.
Yeah, what did they call it? Yeah. Somebody tried to call it the index toe, the second one. I'm like, that is not what it's called.
Oh, bullshit.
Not it.
I was on board with the great toe. Index toe?
It's not called the index toe. No,
Okay,
no.
yeah.
It's called the long toe, which was interesting. The things you learn when you hurt yourself.
Yeah, you know, it's all of a sudden the word clavicle just starts meaning a lot more once it's broken.
I can't imagine.
Something.
This is my first broken bone.
Oh, really?
In my life.
How many years did it take?
In my life.
As soon as I asked that, I was like, oh, maybe not that question.
Actually, Brianna broke my sinus bone, which is not one that is structural, when she was a baby. But I can't really prove that. You know, it's not like you can't use that in a broken bone conversation. People will be like, they don't even know they have one. You know, I'm sure.
So it's like what?
It's inside your sinus cavity. There's a thin bone, sinus bone, and it was fractured. She hit me in the nose with her head. She headbutted me, bam, when she was a baby. And
so she had a lot of anger.
No, we were playing. She's still carrying it out to this day.
Yeah. But yeah, that was something I learned when I was hanging around a couple of my dad's friends. Just the kind of words that are in rotation as you get older. Like they were saying something. It was benign. I was like, benign. Now that's something I'm never gonna hear until I get a certain age. It's like,
well, not necessarily.
I've never heard anyone under 30 say it.
Well, then you haven't known anyone under 30 with cancer. Or not.
This is true.
Undergoing a treatment.
I'm very sheltered.
Yeah.
In
reference to tumors.
Yeah, I work at FedEx,
so
DoorDash, and make comics.
Yeah.
And I have a whole house. I'm sheltered.
Yeah. You gotta have longer conversations with people.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what this is all about. We have a good hour.
Oh, okay.
I forgot to put on the battery. Because like the battery only lasts for like an hour and 10 minutes or something. I don't have like an extension cord or anything. So like it cut off on me and Dad. Did you ever watch that one? Okay.
It cut off, yeah. He was going, well, you know, he had a few.
Oh, me and Dad can start talking.
To share.
Yeah, me and Dad can go for ever. Yeah. But I mean, we've had some pretty long talks too. You're a good second contender.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yeah. Second. Relax.
Oh, I know. Look, I cannot out-talk your father. I promise you that.
No, the champ is Auntie Nora.
Oh, well, yeah.
She's the undefeated Hall of Fame champ.
Hands down, I believe that.
She's the Michael Jordan of talking. People are literally scared to get locked into that conversation.
Yeah. I have been left in the room where they go exit, stage left, and next thing I know, I'm like, everybody go? And she's still going. She's still telling these stories.
Yeah, it's like
I love it though. I love talking.
Yeah, that's the thing though. Like I said, that's why it's perfect for Michael Jordan. So like, cause you love him.
Yeah.
But they like God. They keep just pushing it down. Like, have you been watching the documentary, the Michael Jordan documentary?
No, I just saw. I don't know what I was looking at, and somebody either mentioned it. It was either Late Night Show, Trevor Noah, or somebody mentioned it. Anyway, so I was like, oh man, I need to be checking that out.
Well, yeah, I think so they just did because they do 2 episodes a night. So last night they just did episode 5 and 6.
Oh, okay.
So you have a cable provider, right? You have cable?
No, I'm not anymore.
Do you have internet? You have internet?
Yes.
Okay. With who?
Comcast.
Yeah, I think that works. Like, so you just download the ESPN app on your TV or stick or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you plug in your information. Like, they'll ask you who's your provider.
Okay.
And you put in your information, and you can watch it. Like, I'm watching it with the ESPN app. I don't have, cable. Yeah. But I have, because through my internet connection with AT&T Uverse, I'm able to watch it.
Okay, so probably, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's really cool. If you're like a Michael Jordan nerd, like me to an extent, you've probably seen a lot of it already, but there is still like nuggets in there.
No, I'd love to see it again. When I hear about it and think about it, because I had a huge crush on Michael Jordan because I was a teenager when he, kind of first got to the pro, to the pro.
You were a teenager in 1984.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just broke a bone, teenager in 1984. We're gonna put these numbers together.
Since you solidified, but I was actually a teenager in 1984. But at any rate, a couple of the things that I remember from then was, number one, that his mom said, it's a good thing he had basketball because he wasn't domestic. He didn't know how to do anything else.
Yeah.
So as much as I had a crush on him, I was like, I want a guy that can't do anything else. If all you can do is basketball, that's not good enough for me. But he's really good at basketball.
I
know, but I'm sorry. I still have to live with this person,
Yeah.
Money's not everything.
Well, it's on his second marriage.
Yes.
That's not that bad considering, his... Usually that kind of success goes hand in hand with, like, 4 or 5 marriages,
Sure.
So...
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, I think the biggest comps as far as black celebrities would probably be, like, sort of Michael Jackson, and you saw how that, his personal life, and then it's like maybe Eddie Murphy. And
I crush on him too.
I think he's
short-lived.
I think he's on his 3rd wife, I'm gonna say. I don't know.
3rd, probably. Yeah, at least 3rd.
So I'm like, he's doing pretty good. I think he's doing pretty good, Mike. So
yeah. Well, each his own. I would have, had money and.
I mean, what would you do with money? Like, did you get a stimulus check?
Mm-hmm.
So
I didn't get a check. I got a deposit. Yes.
Well, okay. Yeah.
Some of us have direct deposit. And,
my old roommate. He was hitting me up to see if something was coming in the mail for him. Mm-hmm. He used to live here a year ago. I don't know why his address hasn't been updated, but. He was asking if something was coming in the mail for him. I never put 2 and 2 together.
Oh.
And then the other day, I'm like, oh yeah, here's something from the U.S. Department of Treasury, whatever that is. I didn't put it together just because I'm like, I got an automatic deposit.
Oh, okay.
And I guess he never had it because I always use TurboTax and some of my information is set up and then So I never, there was a whole, if I was that kind of person, it's like a whole $1,200 check. I don't know what this is. Yeah, it's in the mailbox for you.
They also sent a letter, even if you got direct deposit, they still sent a letter saying that you were going to get it. And then I think my bank was like, hey, your money's on the way. My bank's all in my business. Mm-hmm. They told me before the IRS told me. Yeah, actually, I didn't think I was going to get anything. But
why not?
Well, because of my income, but also, yeah, mostly, but because I'm head of household, that's probably why I got a check.
I think the bar was 75 G's, so you make more than that. I'm not saying no, but I can't verbally say yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
There you go. Yeah. But
just wasn't expecting it.
it's just money.
Yeah. But it went right into my daughter's car, which keeps breaking down, having problems. So
Which
much
one
for
is
my
this? You have two
stimulus.
beautiful
I didn't get
daughters.
stimulated.
Yeah, two beautiful
She got
daughters.
stimulated. Her car got stimulated. Joy.
Joy. She's doing DoorDash now, right?
Yeah, and she dashed that car into the shop and got several hundred.
That's the thing. Like when people ask
Actually,
me,
the check wasn't as much as I paid in repairs. Yeah.
So like when people ask me, like it's like because I'll be out there doing it and other people are interested. They're like, hey, is it good money or are you making what's it like? They always talk about like you've been to the moon or some shit. Like
what's it like to drive?
What's it like? Yeah, like so you making like lots of money or like I'm like, dude, it's DoorDash. Like
rich off of it.
like yeah, it's like I'm like, first of all, you get out of it what you put in.
Yeah. Well,
So it's like if you go out there for like an hour, you're gonna make maybe $5, $7, $10. It's like maybe you'll get lucky, you get like 11, 12. But I mean, it's like if you go out there for like an hour, you can make about like I think baseline $10 an hour.
Okay.
Now it's not a lot. It's cool, and like I think the appeal for it for me is that it's on my own leisure.
It's time. Yeah.
I'm by myself. I don't have to worry about dealing with superiors, contemporaries. It's just me, the road, and the food. No one's getting in my car. You know, it's a lot more just chill. It's like a meditation period for me to just talk to myself, figure out what I'm doing with my life, or if I haven't listened to music in a while. I've been doing a lot of just inner monologuing and saying, like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, oh, I think about this, I'm approaching this, like, just focus grouping in my head a lot.
Okay.
And so it's great for people who value that kind of alone time and their space and still want to be able to be productive.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's similar with people that do Lyft and Uber. I don't use Uber anymore, but most of the people that I talk to, because I travel a lot, so I've been in a lot of Lyfts in the last 4 years. But most of the people that I talk to, it seems that, right? That if I'm going to work part-time as a retired person, or if I'm going to work to get this extra money for this vacation as a full-time person, I want it to be this, right? This thing where you don't have to deal with punching the clock. You don't have to deal with, all the things you said.
Right.
Because I've known car dealers, people that are salespeople, retired people that are just doing it because they're trying to pay something off. People that's mother's sick, just so. Like I said, it's what you put into it, and people have said they've paid off things and been able to retire in a couple years.
It's honestly like the JV of drug dealing. Honestly, like the more you talk about it, I'm like, it sounds a lot like drug dealing. It's like I'm just getting in for this real quick and then I'm out. Like I'm just doing this real quick.
It's just missing one benefit though. That drug dealing gets. Well, it just depends on the drug too. So.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And like sometimes, like I used to joke with my grandma. I used to say, she's like, so what are you doing now? I was like, I'm a bounty hunter. She's like, a bounty hunter? Yeah, they put out these bounties for these orders, these food, and I go pick it up for people I return it for a fee. I was like, just to romance it up a little.
Bounty hunter, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I'm a bounty hunter.
Right.
And there's like, if you wanted to say, I'm a drug dealer, and people are addicted to McDonald's.
Right.
like it's
addicted to food. Period.
We all have our drugs.
We do.
Yeah, and there's like
choice.
the funny thing is like there was like a moment where there was this dude who like every morning had his order from IHOP. And like, because I would be out there a lot of the week, and he gets the same thing. And I like to the point to where I saw the address, so I'm like, oh, I know where this is. I don't need to put on the GPS. Typically, you gotta put the GPS once you get the order. It's like, okay, take me there.
Right.
And it's like, no, I know where this is. Like, oh, it's him again? Like, all right. Like, and he was getting it like every morning for a minute. I haven't gotten that order in a while. So maybe the money dried up or whatever. Or maybe he just realized,
Well,
like,
a
I
lot
think
of
I have a
places
problem.
are
Yeah.
opening now, you know, for, I think restaurants were allowed to open like a
They've been
quarter of the
open.
way or whatever.
The restaurants have been open this whole time.
I'm not.
They're not dining in.
Well, no,
But
that's what I'm saying. This new lift, like a quarter, you can open a quarter or half of your restaurant. You can't open like for full seating.
I don't get why people would do that. Like, they
But
was,
that's not enough money probably to keep it open, and then you can't bring back all your staff, which means you can't qualify for that loan that they need for a small business. But, you know, that's another topic altogether.
we can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
If you're qualified to talk about it, and even if you're not, you know what? Yeah, I'm not. So
I'm as qualified as Mr. Trump is to talk about it.
there you go. Like, that's where the bar is.
Actually,
that's
probably
where
more
the bar
so because I have
is.
2 degrees, he has 1. So
we won't even speak on the legitimacy of that degree. So
right.
So
Oh yeah, please.
So, yeah, the
take me
bar's
there.
low.
That's the bar's real low.
the
So
bar's low. So.
well over the bar.
So you're saying that
Um,
they kind of like found themselves a loophole to hold on to some money by unlifting some of these restrictions, but now these businesses don't qualify for the.
Right, there are so many hurdles to the money
Mm-hmm.
that if you don't step just right, or if you know, but you can't dictate to each small business how they can reopen in their particular states. So for example, one this morning was saying, you know, we're allowed to partially open, but that's not enough to bring my entire staff back, which is one of the stipulations of that small business loan, is that you bring your people back, right? So it's kind of a backwards way. I'm sure that the social side, the Democratic side, was fighting to get rid of a lot of that stuff, but in order to nitpick in and out of a lot of these things that come out, it takes a long time. So you do have to compromise, and a compromise means somebody wins and somebody loses a little bit on each side. So at any rate, most of it is red tape, and the ones that are getting it and sending it back, you know, got to be kidding me.
Yeah, it was. I remember there was a thing about Cheesecake Factory getting a small business loan money.
Because of the way, and I know this only because I had a business and I used to help people start their businesses, that there's a threshold with which you become small, medium, and large business. And you can still be a small business and have multiple locations and make millions of dollars, right? You know, just as you can have 5 people and do the same thing, right? So that's why, you know, it depends on what's on the books for you, is the number of employees that you have and how much you make annually, because those are the 2 things that go into qualifying you to be small, medium, or larger size.
Yeah, because that's what I was like. I'm not Cheesecake Factory.
So that's why, you know, those things huge, you know, what we say huge, they're probably not very big money. They may make billions, but they may only have, you know, 250 employees. You know, 500 employees, and that keeps them at the small business level.
It sounds like there's not just one clear measurement. It's a lot of like.
That's to me, that's the tax law measurement, and I think, you know, when you talk about the Department of Treasury, that's what you're talking about, you know, so that's the tax law is set up like that, to how you qualify. They're just like they can tell you whether or not you have a business or a hobby, right? If you aren't making so much on it, you can't keep saying that I got a business. It's a hobby, because there's thresholds of things that qualify you and whether or not you have a legitimate business.
It's like, as far as the U.S. government concerned, it's a hobby.
Yeah. As far as the tax,
It's a lucrative,
Department of Treasury,
lucrative hobby.
very, you know, call it what you want, but that's what it is, and they can disqualify you from.
So what does that say about a lot of people running around saying they're CEOs?
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't mean it should stick with entrepreneur.
Okay. that you can do that no matter
broad.
what, right?
Yeah, that's kind of broad.
Yeah.
So let's leave it there. There's 14-year-old girls selling ribbons that are entrepreneurs. So let's leave it there.
Hey, some of the 14-year-olds.
Making bank.
Yeah,
making
like
millions. Whoa. That's not even
like
okay.
I remember that report came out about the kid YouTuber who banked like netted like a couple million just reviewing toys, like unboxing toys. And I was like, the power of what brands and platforms in 2020 is amazing.
And you know, it's amazing because we know about it, but I think if you look back, anything that came along at a rapid pace was still happening even, 2 decades ago. It's just how the information gets around. So maybe somebody was making a lot of money off of something like that, well before we knew
it was possible.
that it was possible to do it. So, but I think it's interesting because I saw one. My grandson, Mr. McCaden, of course, loves a lot of those YouTube things, right, where the kids are just playing with toys. And I remember seeing an interview with the parents that were saying how hard it was. They basically quit their full-time jobs to help him continue to do the toy reviews and put the toys to do.
I mean, that's
it
smart.
took a lot of
It's like
staging and managing what he was doing.
that takes a lot of like what's the word? Integrity, or just the strength to man up to the fact that, you know what,
Your kid
the breadwinner of the family is him.
Right. Oh,
We have to quit our jobs to support him, okay? Because he figured it out.
Same thing with young athletes, right? Young Olympians, same thing, kind of. Eventually they make money, and
It's like,
that's crazy.
Imagine, like, they really should make. I'm surprised they haven't made like a show or something on that yet, where it's like dealing with the fact that your kid is a star and the parents, still trying to feel like they're important.
Yeah.
And trying to like my value is relevant.
I wonder if Kris Jenner did something like that.
I can see the Kardashians, because
she ended up managing her for a long time, and she wasn't working. You know what I mean? That was her job.
Yeah, and
child employees.
people like the people who know about the Kardashians and that whole family and all those businesses, they say like people like to clown them, but they really made some like very smart business moves. And I haven't researched it or paid attention to that beyond the surface level of who the Kardashians are.
Yeah.
But it's like they made, like, Kendall Jenner made or Kendall or Kylie. All right. One of them made like, I don't want to say they're the youngest millionaire or whatever.
She did become like the youngest. I don't want to say billionaire. She's got so much money already.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what she'll be like at 30. I cannot imagine.
And it's basically just off of being a socialite.
That's it.
But there is something under there.
Out, and the YouTube. She has a number of irons in the fire. But it doesn't hurt that she has a very famous family. That all. That's generational money, right?
Right.
Generational wealth really comes from each successive generation making money. We can look at the Wayans. I love them as an example of generational wealth in the Black community.
What is the next wave of Wayans really doing though? Like, I know Damon's son was doing moves for a minute.
He's doing movies. He's directing. He's producing. I think they're staying in the business, right? In the business of production, of directing, of maybe not necessarily acting, but also acting. But I think they probably look at bringing people of color in on all aspects of it, right? Not just, especially the
like, because you would have thought like the trajectory would have been that the Wayans would have did what Tyler Perry did, and like how he founded that what's it called, shooting lot or whatever, movie lot.
I was down that way, and the exit sign said Tyler Perry Studios. I was like, where do I live?
Atlanta, Black Hollywood.
Right. That was so funny to me. But I always did say Atlanta was the southern Los Angeles. Just to me, the people here, when I came here, they acted so much like the black people acted in Los Angeles with a southern accent and a country way.
What's it like out there?
They're super bougie, like stupid bougie, and cause but they were stupid bougie out here for no reason. And I was just like, really, you're stupid bougie? And I was like looking at LA, and I was just like, really? But anyway, it was interesting.
I mean, it's a
to me, it was like that. I mean, Atlanta's changed and evolved in different ways. There's a lot more people from everywhere else here now, but.
I mean, I think wasn't it always like that? Like a melting pot city?
It seemed like. I
think it's
just in different waves, like after Katrina, we got a lot of people in New Orleans, I think there were waves of people.
Did you ever watch the Boondocks?
Yes.
Like they had an episode highlighting like it was called The Invasion of the Katrinas. The Katrina.
Oh.
Where it was like, it just highlighted how a lot of people had family in New Orleans, and once that all went down, unfortunately, it's like, oh, they came to stay with us. And it was just like, like their whole culture clash, a whole bunch of silly shit.
There was.
But it was like, I remember those years without paying too much attention to world events. It's like, you knew Katrina happened, but I wasn't like, following it. I was like 13 or whatever, like Dragon Ball was the shit. I didn't care about rain.
Right.
So it was this, but all of a sudden you start seeing all these new kids in school.
Right.
It's like, oh, they're from New Orleans or whatever. It's like
there's a lot of that, right?
Yeah.
And on and on. Yeah, and the girls were in school and daycare and stuff, so we saw a lot of people coming from New Orleans. A lot of very sad stories, and of course, being an older person than you were, I was paying a lot of attention to what was going on because politically, socially, it was a disaster. So there was a lot of sadness during that time. It was heartbreaking to watch.
That's a good thing to bring up though, because seeing as how you were a lot more, let's just say you were paying attention compared to what I was doing. How did that whole thing with the relief and all that compare to this with Corona?
As far as businesses,
I know
they're very, very different. It'd be hard to compare those two. I can better compare Katrina to 9/11 than I can to the pandemic, because the numbers of people that were affected. Sure, there were hundreds of thousands of people affected, but not that died. There wasn't 50,000 people that died during Katrina. But response-wise, they just screwed up. They got trapped.
The whole thing.
I remember, just like they talk about now how, who's to blame, they start talking about this who's to blame thing. I remember that part of it towards the end, and when I put it all together now, when I think about it, we didn't anticipate well enough. It could have been a little group think in there, amongst the people that were deciding what to do. But there was not enough advocacy for the poor brown people that were there in the way of everything. Had it been $1 million houses like the coast of Miami, I bet you they would have changed. It would have been a different response. I'll say that. They didn't care enough to worry enough and to help enough to get people out. People did leave, but a lot of people couldn't, and the government just didn't do enough to deal with that. And people did. In all due respect, there were people that didn't want to leave.
What? Just because it was their home?
Yeah. just had been in their home for 30, 40 years.
Nostalgia can cripple you.
It does.
Like
it was very hard. They had to. I remember they were talking about how hard it was to get their parents and grandparents and different people like that to leave. I mean, it's sad.
Like I've realized that just in normal life that putting too much of a value on nostalgia can stop you from progressing and make you afraid to progress in a lot of things. And I was talking to my friend about that the other day. I was saying, because we started reminiscing on something, and I was like, I was like, you know, I don't like to start getting too much into that wheel. Because I explained to her, I'm like, I start devaluing what's happening now and what could happen in the future.
Right.
And it's like, it's cool to look back. I love looking back. It feels great. I was cleaning out my shed the other day, and until I started running into like rats and cats, and I was just going through my
rats and cats.
I mean, I didn't mean to rhyme. But it was like
Dr. Seuss.
It was all. I'll tell you that if we have time. But so I was just going through a bunch of old stuff, a bunch of VHS tapes.
Yeah.
Like I found my VHS copy of Space Jam.
Cool.
Really
that
cool.
That was Brianna's favorite movie.
And I found my VHS copy of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, nice.
And I like this. It was like I was like, God, I wish I saw it at VCR, because like not even just to watch it, but the TMNT. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes,
and
I knew what you meant.
Okay.
Savvy on that.
And there was I found my Three Ninjas VHS, and it's like those movies. Something I've been realizing, especially lately with like Disney Plus, these movies are being altered ever so slightly in their digital formats.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not like there's this meme of like Leonardo DiCaprio, and he's like pointing up from the couch. That just flashed in my head. Anyways, I've been on the internet too much.
Yeah, you have.
But,
I'm thinking of that. Oh, you got the poster.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay.
Yeah. But I'm like, that's not how it's supposed to be.
Right.
Or that's not how it went. It's like I feel like there's an attack on my childhood or just who I am as a person when you see something like that. I'm like, that's from an artist standpoint. It's like you changed it.
Yeah, you take it very. It's funny how we take stuff very personally that's someone else's art, right? Like Aladdin, I use that as an example.
Yeah,
I grew up with it, and that video that she played over and over again, right? And it changed. It did go to digital eventually, but that tape.
I was joking with Aladdin the other day. I was thinking about it while I was at work. You know, the movie, you know how Aladdin starts? Like the dude, like the street seller.
Yeah.
Like, what time is it? It's like, who is this guy? Why are you selling stuff? I was like, does the movie Aladdin open with a crack dealer like trying to raise money for crack or drugs or something? I'm just thinking about the setup here, and then I think about the stories of like, oh yeah, there's weird people trying to sell you stuff at odd hours, and it's usually for drugs. And I'm like, the dude, he's like the one real dark-skinned dude in the movie. I don't know if it's because it's dark or whatever, but he is like the one dark-skinned dude with a big old lip. I'm like, yo, is this like a crack dealer? But alright, anyways, yeah, the sentiment of art.
Yes. I never saw it that way, but it forever changed the way I see it.
See, this is what happens when you do DoorDash.
Yeah.
You get a lot of time.
through this important.
and I did that sober.
But yes, no, losing this, and back up in the nostalgia thing. But yes, we get upset when people change what was, right? It's like changing, we always have that conversation, well, not we, but older people. It doesn't taste like it used to, like whatever soda or some treat, like Twinkies do not taste like Twinkies tasted when I was growing up.
And do you think that's just because they changed the formula, or do you think that's just
absolutely? And no. No perception. You'll find out. You'll see. Because you have something that you like. What do you like? Like really like something you have all the time. Is your favorite thing to consume?
I wanted to say television, but that sounds so shallow. I don't know. I mean, like as far as eating or
drinking. Something that works well for you, a particular type of sticky or I don't know, whatever.
Something that's devalued over the years.
Wow.
I don't
really pressed.
I don't consume a lot of stuff.
You eat?
Yeah, but it's a very.
What's your favorite snack? Food.
I like to get Little Debbie Swiss rolls.
Okay, so did you eat Little Debbie Swiss rolls when you were 9?
No.
When
I didn't eat a lot of sweets and stuff when I was younger.
So perhaps 10, 20 years from now, when you want a Little Debbie Swiss, you're gonna taste one and you're gonna be like, it doesn't taste like it used to. Right?
But
it's
I'm
different.
But then that's like.
So what's happened is companies over time change their ingredients. They look for ways to make more money off of the same product, right? So they're going to start to substitute something. New technology comes along, and this salesperson comes and says, "Hey, instead of using real pure cane sugar, you can use this and this confection, and it gives you the same." Yeah,
and
and
that's 100% real. Like I saw. Like just for first of all, like Coca-Cola, they like to say, oh, there's the secret formula of Coca-Cola. I'm like, is cocaine still in it? Because cocaine used to be in it.
That's right.
So it's
That's
like,
right.
but they took that out. I know. And the Coca-Cola formula has changed over the years. I just know that. Same with McDonald's, like because I watched the movie The Founder, and they shed a light on how they started basically devaluing their products as they
use fresh fries, right? They use fresh potatoes to make their fries.
And there's shake machines, and it's like they really cut as many corners to increase the profit as much as they can. It's like, yeah, I get that makes sense. But I also think that there's a somewhat of a mindset or just the human body evolving it over time to something that eventually devalues a product. Like, say for going back to
I think if something's your favorite, it's your favorite. I don't think unless you just devalue it in your mind because you're now 350 pounds and Twinkies were your favorite. I could see me devaluing it.
Yeah, it's just like a person who's on drugs, like doing the same drug after a while, it doesn't hit the same anymore.
That's true, but it doesn't make you not want it the same anymore.
But you have to like increase to
you have to,
because you're not receiving the same amount of like stimulus or energy or whatever.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So I think it's a little bit of both. That's all I'm saying.
I see your point. But hate to disagree. No, I like to disagree. I think debate is great. The only problem with that theory is that you have to understand there are some people that are obsessive about a particular product or thing, so much so that they consume it every week for 30, 40 years of their life. They're going to notice, right? Yes, my taste buds may change and all of that considered. I think if we just simply look at the labels, we'd see exactly what I'm saying. I can't remember seeing Twinkies when I was little and seeing 25 ingredients on it.
Mm-hmm.
There were maybe 10. Sugar, butter, eggs, flavor. You know what I'm saying? Now you look at the back of the package, it looks very different. So it's not just me and my taste buds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I see what you're saying though. Yeah, I think you do elevate your taste, your
palate.
Your palate after a while. Sure.
I always like that word.
And I think it changes. I mean, naturally, I think science has already proven that your taste buds change over time. So.
Yeah, I was watching a movie yesterday saying that portions of the human face grow by like a fraction every year of your life.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and like he was telling that to like this good-looking dude. He's like, "Yeah, but you look good now." It's like your face is gonna slowly blosh out, and the dude started freaking out. He's like, "It's a really small fraction."
Yeah, it's almost undetectable. I think symmetry stays. It's been proven that we're attracted to symmetry, right, in the face. That's what makes people look quote unquote attractive to us. The more symmetrical the face, the more attractive they are to us.
Oh, I never consider that from a skin tone perspective, a symmetry angle.
Symmetry, they said even when there's differences in skin tone. So in other words, if a very symmetrical face of a pretty black woman will be a pretty black woman no matter who's looking at it because of the symmetry of the face, withstanding any bias.
Who was that?
They do that with babies.
I'm like, who's the black example? The popular black example? I want to say it was Morris Chestnut.
Oh, in men? I don't.
It was either Morris or Denzel. I don't remember.
Yeah, Denzel is very symmetrical.
Because he has like a widow's peak too.
Yeah, he's
like
just
right there.
His the lines of it. Yeah, he's got face. Yeah, for sure.
Which
symmetrical.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Love Denzel. I want to say Denzel over Michael Jordan. Who it was still Mike.
No, I wasn't attracted to Denzel in that way at all. It's funny that you mentioned that because I'm probably one of the few women that my affinity for him is simply that he's handsome, but that he's just super talented and super smart. I'm more attracted to him that way. Physically, he's not my type.
And I think he would appreciate that more.
Yeah, he's not my type, so I'm more attracted to who he is as a person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, Denzel.
If you happen to be watching the L7 Weenie podcast,
what the hell, Dionne Vann?
We have over 14 subscribers. If you somehow found your way,
if you just random.
No. I'll make a clip of this one segment, and it'll be like the title will be "Find Denzel Washington,"
right?
And like who knows? Maybe like a year, 2 years. See how much progress the channel can make. It'll be like, hey, there's that one video on your channel.
Yeah.
Like it's got sent around a lot and it found its way to Denzel Washington. There's some chick named Dionne Vann who just thinks you're a good person.
Yeah, and back to the Jordan thing, his first wife was a psychologist and I studied psychology, and of course that was, still kind of like, oh, he likes smart women,
It's like, again, I'm on the internet too much. There's this Jim Carrey meme from Dumb and Dumber when he's like, so you're telling me there's a chance. You're like, I was thinking about that the other day just because what I will do when I watch these Michael Jordan documentaries, like The Last Dance, I'll watch it. Like anytime usually something happens, whether it's a movie just came out or a sporting event or TV show, I'll go to Twitter afterwards to see what people are saying and all that, because that's usually another layer of entertainment for me.
Right.
And so they attach all these memes to what they're saying. They put pictures or GIFs with GIFs with it, and it just makes it funny.
Right.
So I've been like consuming that a lot and just trying to understand why that's funny and how I can make that
It's kind of neat. Do they make money off of making those things?
People on Twitter?
How much they use them?
People on Twitter?
that make the gifts. Do they make money?
No. I don't. From what I know, it's not a monetizable. That's just brand awareness.
Yeah.
Like you can't monetize. That's why I never really am up on Twitter too much, just because it's not really a monetizable platform. It's a good way to grow your brand and connect with people.
Yeah.
But it's not really monetizable.
Depending on the brand too.
Yeah. So
I wouldn't imagine I would find a ton of business on Twitter.
I mean, what's your business per se?
Just being Dionne.
Well, I mean, you're on a platform right now. Do you want to advertise a little more than it's just being Dionne?
No, actually, it's still in its founding status, so I don't really want to talk about it until I can.
What what it is and stuff.
Oh yeah, know what it is. Have a 3-year plan for a launch, and if the heavens and the universe are aligned, we'll see it happen.
If you put in the work, I know.
Trying to put in the work on the front end before the boom,
Yeah, it's like anything's possible. People are making money off the weirdest shit right now. anything is possible with the right attitude and approach.
Yeah, and I think, you know, I've had enough of helping people with businesses, helping people start business, start my own, that I know where
the trial and error.
Yeah, there's a trial and error. Sometimes you have to make mistakes, you know. It's not, I've never wanted to be an overnight success or thought that would happen, and it's going to be some work, but I think I'm going to be a lot smarter and do it a lot better this time. I'm pretty sure of that.
And like with being a cartoonist, a lot of my career, per se, has been a lot of trial and error and figuring out. I think I've done it faster than a lot of other people have done it. And
you've had a pretty good trajectory to me, you know.
I suppose it's like I started early. I had the benefit of starting earlier. Like when I first did my first couple conventions, my contemporaries, they're all like, I was like 16, 17, 18. Everyone else is like at least 25, 30, 40s,
right.
You know, people with families.
Right.
Like, so, like, I was for real started a lot earlier. And it's, and I started earlier though. The problem is I started earlier in a business that was evolving very fast. And just in the past 3 years, the landscape has changed so much for what it means to be successful in comic books and cartoons and stuff. And so it's just learning what works, what doesn't work, and who to listen to, all that stuff. It's been a journey these past 3 years alone. And like you saw the whole thing with the Facebook ads, that just started really last fall. And now I'm about to have I'm about to reach 2,000 followers. Like it took me that page was in existence for maybe 7-8 years, and I had 700 something followers, right? I started doing these ads for 4 or 5 months. I'm already about to be at 2,000. It's like all that wasted time, and like, you know,
yeah, the ads apparently are huge, and you know, I have a page, but it's not for me, it's for my company, and it's just, I'm not trying to make a business out of it, but when I look at the ads and you know what they're on, I was like, sure, I kind of see how people can be more successful if they use
and I'm
platform.
I have a very modest budget. For companies who have like a bunch to throw at like marketing and all that stuff, it's like, well, there's no reason why you shouldn't find a way to be successful if you have a real business budget.
Right.
There's so many possibilities, capabilities. And that's why anytime my friends say they want to do something, I'm like, dude, do it. What you waiting for? Like, it's like, and you know me, I'm a more entrepreneurial mindset, but still, I'm like, dude, whatever you want to do, you can start doing that today. And it's, a lot of people put like limitations on themselves.
They put limitations on because most people have the singular thought of, I don't know where to start. And the I don't know where to start stops you 100% in your tracks. I can say with certainty that you just have to do it. Do whatever you think is the right thing to do. You'll figure it out. You'll learn, you read, you research. I mean, I didn't learn to start a corporation by not starting, not trying, you know. I learned a lot, and I can do it now with my eyes closed.
Right. Something like when my mom left her job after like all these years, and of course all these years of complaining about not liking it. And I'm like, just from a person, just from looking at her, knowing her, seeing how she reacts with people, she goes into a spot, she just starts talking. She's always putting people in connections like, oh, you need a painter, I know this guy who paints, like, cause she'll go to like Dave & Buster's or wherever and get to talking, exchange information. It's like, oh, I know a guy. Like, anytime something goes wrong with the house, you know, cause mom's a landlord, it's like, oh, I know a guy.
Right.
She always knows people. I'm like, Mom, you should be like some kind of agent or someone who like represents people, like a representative.
Right.
Because you're so good at just talking to people, which is a very valued talent nowadays. Because so many people are behind their screens.
Oh yeah.
It's like people who can just go in and actually be personable and all that. I'm like, that's a very good, like, you should do that. And she was like, I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Right.
And it's like, yeah, I don't know either.
Right.
But it's like, I'm like, that's what you should be doing.
Yeah. No, once you figure out what it is, I know you got some hot rod out there. It's like a Maserati or something.
I mean, it's a whole car dealership next door. You know? So, but,
he's like, wrong. But no, I think that's what, when I give people advice, and actually I stopped doing it because it's my intellectual property and I've stopped giving it away now. I have to pay for it, sorry.
Good, something, don't do it for free.
And I had to learn that the hard way too. I gave away a lot of things for free, but I learned, I don't regret, I don't have any regrets about where I am because there's still, as far as I'm concerned, time left for me to do a lot of things. And so I don't regret that I had to learn the hard way. And some of it I should have done, some of it was charitable, and other times it was just selling myself short.
I mean, I think it's like it comes down to like when people talk about, because a lot of things I hear about people starting businesses or whatever, or advice, it's like, don't be afraid to do some work for free, just to get yourself out there or whatever, and promote your brand or whatever. There's some truth to that, and then it's like also it's like know your value.
Yeah.
I think the middle ground is the experience, and it's like you won't be able to get this kind of experience anywhere else.
Right.
And so it's like doing something for free. I'd like to get paid, and I should be paid. But I would like the experience of doing something for somebody or whatever, or just going through the motions of doing this project.
I will say that anything that you do, you always give back. I wasn't working for a period of 2, 3, underemployed. I would say I was still working, I was teaching. But I spent a lot of time volunteering. I spent a lot of time giving back, whether it was helping nonprofits understand and their filings and what they needed to do, maybe helping somebody a little bit with their taxes, just giving them a nudge or two here or there. I've done that throughout, and even when I start this new business venture, a portion of it will be about me giving back to young girls, really helping them if they're interested in starting a business, just giving them tidbits. I'm not going to give away the farm because I've learned how not to do that now, but I think I can be a mentor or a guide of some sort in some way without, necessarily the nuts and bolts. Just get them pointed in the right direction and motivate them. Just empowering them. Say, hey, you can do it. Don't be afraid about what you don't know. Just let's go for it. Here, go there, and then once you get all that stuff, just keep going.
And I think after a certain age, just about everybody has something to offer in that aspect.
Absolutely.
It's like even people who've had a so-called rough life of just being
it don't matter if you have a degree or not.
in and out of jail or working 6, 7 jobs, or just I've had like maybe 3 baby mamas. Even that person
right.
has a lot to offer because you've lived a lot of life on just like city miles.
Yeah. And
it's like, there's so much trial and error you've been through that you could just make someone else's life so much better. It's like I think there's a very undervalued. I ran out of words.
Segment of the population.
Sure. Yeah. There we go. I like that segment. That sounds.
Segment.
I believe that word.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there's an undervalued segment of the population when it comes to knowledge and what the wisdom they have to offer.
Yeah, and I've seen a few, and just another great idea and something that I could put some passion behind is talking to people. One thing that I was good at even growing up is I spent a lot of time in the project. I just hung out. It didn't matter that I lived in a middle class neighborhood. I was just as comfortable hanging out in the projects with people that were on food stamps and welfare because they were people.
Right.
They still made me laugh. I still enjoyed their company. It had nothing to do with, and so I always knew who I was in that respect, even from a very young age. I could see myself putting time into something, a project like that, doing a documentary or something, trying to sell it to PBS or something.
It's always about the money.
Well,
Always about the damn money with you. Always about the damn money.
It doesn't mean I wouldn't give it away to some museum or some other, charity. Maybe by then I'll be making enough, it won't matter, Because I do give back. I still give back every year. GPV, what's it? St. Jude's. I'm always giving money.
What was that first one?
GPB,
What's
Georgia
that?
Public Broadcasting. So
Okay.
that would be where all the kids' cartoons and stuff, I have grandchildren. I've always believed in them, and they've done a good job managing their money. I get back to National Public Radio, NPR, and then local.
Do you listen to 91.9?
I don't.
Okay. And then,
I have satellites. Satellite and once a
I have satellite. I'm not familiar with your 91.9.
Is it jazz?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's the local jazz station. They always have they're somewhat of a crowdfunded
They are.
establishment.
It's
And
not CLK.
I think that is
Is it
that.
not
That's-
CLK?
yeah, and like Dad donated maybe a year ago, like, cause he's like, I always hear it. You know what?
Oh.
Like he was telling me how he's like, you know what? I always hear it. I think I'm gonna donate.
Yeah.
And he's like, they're gonna say my name, so he's like, I gotta listen to it.
Gotta get his props.
Yeah. I was like, it's always about what's it doing for you.
No, I'm just a member. I actually enjoy knowing, because I listen, and I feel like I can give a little bit. I don't give tons of money away. I don't have tons to give away. I'm just saying I try to give everybody something.
I was like, she doesn't have tons of
I don't
money.
have tons of money.
She qualified for the check. She wasn't sure, so it's around there. Said she's like Michael Jordan. She's a teenager.
I'm just going by my tax return.
After a certain age, you feel like you're able to give away wisdom. All right, what kind of age would you say that is? Like what, 30, 40? Just a ballpark. Okay.
You can give wisdom at any age.
There you go.
Something.
That little kid has something to tell us.
Sure.
Unboxing toys, yo. Tell me what I should do with my 401k, man.
Yeah. Something. Oh, I was explaining to McCaden's mom how I broke my toe. And we were on like FaceTime with me and her and Joy, and he was there. So I get to the end, and like, hey, they're laughing at me. He goes, I did not see that coming. And we just died. We were like, where did that come from exactly? So
did anyone challenge him on that? Like, where did you think that story was leading?
Right.
It's like, no dragon.
Right.
You just got that being around the house.
Just broke it up.
Okay.
At the end of that, right?
Go on. No kind of quest. Alright.
And he's right. I have no terrific story. He's correct about that.
Like, I stopped watching TV for this shit.
Yeah, right. I've been standing here through all of this. And
he's like, I kept saying it's gonna pay off.
Right.
It's gonna pay off. It's gonna pay off.
And in the end, she said, I fractured my toe. She did not see that coming. So yeah,
How old is he now?
5.
Mm.
And he's something else. He, like I told you, he watches the kid. Well, this one day we were watching, and it was a man doing the Transform. He's into Transformers, huge, and they're kind of cool.
They've been around like what, 40 years now? Like
The ones that do what they do now?
I'm just saying Transformers.
No,
like
I'm talking about the toy.
yeah, I'm like as a brand because they had like cartoons in the 80s, Transformer cartoons.
Did they transform?
Yeah, it was like robots and they transformed into other things. Transformers.
I didn't have a boy. I had girls.
Yeah, so I'm like
At any rate,
they predate I think.
I know that Transformers itself has been out, but I didn't know they had toys that transform the way these toys do now.
Oh, I'm sure they don't do it like now.
Oh,
but I mean,
okay.
I'm sure they had some kind of like, it collapses into.
Okay. I've
something.
seen some older ones, but it looked like you had to take it apart and then put it back together. But anyway, he plays with them one. I've been playing with them, and he got some for Christmas and stuff. And the guy was on there doing the Transformers, and he said, after a while of us watching, he said, "Who is that, Dee Dee?" And I said, "What?" He said, "Who is that?" I said, "He's just showing us just a man with his hands." He said, "But who is it?" I said, "You can't watch this one anymore." That's that. Because, in his 5-year-old, he's seeing these man's hand. What he knows is it's not a child. So he wants to know who it is. Who is it that I'm watching right now? So that made me want to say, no man hand videos shall my grandson watch.
And I think that's why
I don't like that.
I think that's why it's so appealing seeing the kids open and play with the toys versus seeing some older man or whatever.
Right. He's not seeing, he couldn't see him, but he knew it wasn't a kid just by the size of his hand and the whole thing. So
the hands don't lie.
No,
that's what
the
they
hands
say.
tell on you.
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Let me see your hands. No.
It's like I was looking at my hand one day while I was driving, and I was like, it doesn't seem as tight as it used to be. And I was like, it seems like it's not a little bit looser. It's not,
the finger skin.
It's not gripping my muscles the same way.
It's not wrapping around your
body.
body.
I just didn't put on enough Vaseline today. That's what it had to be. I'm not taking care of my skin.
Yes.
I'm not old.
It's
I'm
all
just
this
lazy.
hand washing.
Yeah.
Blame it on something. All this hand washing that's going on. I know. Yeah. I can't believe that you're coming up on 3 decades here.
Yeah, 30 in August.
Yeah.
I was joking with Danielle about that. I'm like, yeah, I'm about to be 30. She's like, yeah.
I'm about to be 40.
She's.
I can't believe it because I of course I've known you guys forever, since the day. But yeah, I was just thinking about that the other day. I'm like, Sally's birthday's coming, Danielle's birthday in May. I can't believe.
I mean, I trip out on.
I can't believe how old I am, so I know I can't believe how old you are. I think I'm 30.
I trip out on how old Joy is sometimes, or like Jade Nicole and Isaiah. I'm like,
I know. What is
wrong?
I said, when I heard 21, I was like, wait, when? What?
Like,
Yeah, Brianna's gonna be 26. It blows my mind because I haven't aged at all.
Of course.
This gray hair is all stress. It's no age.
Just
involved.
stress.
Yeah, it's just stress.
I mean, you're taking headbutts from babies.
Yeah,
There's a lot going on.
There's a lot.
And then the other babies are like saying,
babies.
they're asking you for whole epic tales regarding your foot.
Yep.
It's
expecting acrobatics. Yes.
Like, where was the hero's journey?
Yeah.
It was nowhere in there. Don't you know story structure?
Gigi, I thought you had a cape, but yeah. But I appreciate you inviting me to your abode and letting me impart some of my conversation.
I love talking to people.
In your space.
Actually,
I enjoy talking to you too. We've always had really good conversations.
Yeah, ideally, I wanted to get someone that I'm not related to for my second guest.
A little more famous.
Not even famous, because I mean,
not infamous. Or...
technically, you might be more famous than me. More people might know who you are versus they know who I am. Like, because you're actually connecting with people on a daily basis.
Right.
I talk to maybe 2 people, 3 people a day.
Oh, okay.
And
I got you beat on that.
Yeah, so I'm like, people know me on the internet, of course.
Yes.
But I'm like, how much do they really know me? Like, if they saw me, like. Last time I did a convention, like 2 years ago, there was one person who came up to me saying, like, I follow you on the Facebook page, I just want to come and see you. And I'm not gonna lie, she had some big titties, okay? But
that was fun.
But it wasn't even about that. I was just like, wow, it was just cool seeing someone
wanted to see you.
Yeah, and I was like, I gotta take a picture with you. Like, I wanted to take a picture with her just because it's my the one fan, It's like,
have a fan.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Yeah.
And again, that's one person.
Yeah.
So like, I'm not that famous, but I just wanted to get people that I'm not related to, just because it forces me to somewhat get out of a comfort zone.
Yeah.
And to just talk to people who I wouldn't regularly talk to and stuff like that. And then there's the opportunity of someone with a bigger brand coming on, and all those other kinds of advantages beyond the personal ones. But it just didn't work out like that. So, but I was like, the next person it was gonna be like someone I know.
So you
someone
settled
I don't
for
know.
me.
No, you were on the list. You were next on the list.
What infamous.
You were next on the list. They dropped off, so it's like, all right, well, I was gonna go to Dionne.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna try and find someone else again, and then after that, I plan on talking to Carrie. And
Okay. Oh, that'll be a good one.
yeah, he's very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
So, like,
absolutely.
like during this whole thing, like the more I pay attention to him on Facebook, I'm like, I didn't know Carrie was that woke. Like I
He is.
knew Danielle and Carrie were
You
pretty.
think I'm just liking it because I like him?
I mean, I
actually pay attention to what people write.
Because I don't be on Facebook timeline like that. I really only get on to be on the Marcel Comics page, so I don't really see the timeline.
Okay.
But on the rare occasions I do, I'm seeing stuff he's saying. I'm like, oh, I mean, you know, it's like
I enjoy that. He's another person I enjoy talking to, and he's very intelligent, but he is woke. I think to find that in men is nice.
Go ahead, say it. Black men. Go ahead. Say
Men,
it.
period. Nah, I won't even. I can't even. I ain't gonna lie. Men are not that different when their skin changes. Sorry, guys. Sorry. There's technically, yes, there's obviously differences, but we won't get technical. But no, I think the biology is the same. You know, in terms of how you're socialized in the world, right? Just how men are socialized. But obviously, there's nuances with ethnicity. You know, it's going to make you one way or another. But yeah, no, he's great to talk to, and I admire them as a couple because they're just so darn cute. First of all,
it's a lot to live up to.
It is a lot to live up to.
It's just really it's a lot to live up to.
Really, poor Marcel.
We always there's like a core, what we call the core. It's me, Danielle, and then remember Aleem and his sister Akila. We call ourselves the core. Like they're technically our uncles and aunts. Yeah. And we call ourselves the core of the family because we were always real tight. Yeah. Like Aleem's essentially, he's more so my brother or my cousin than my uncle. You know, he's like only a year older than me. Anyways, we always said Danielle's the favorite. Danielle's like the poster child. She can't do any wrong. It's like if we're gonna do anything or have anyone represent us, it's gonna be Danielle. Right, you know? I'm very happy for her. I'm happy for their house, their son. It's like that's why I always tell them, like, hey, if you need anything, I'll do my best to help you. Anything, because it's like we have to protect our precious, the
precious Danielle.
Yeah. It's like I'm doing my best to keep up, but it's like, hey. Sometimes you just gotta acknowledge greatness.
Hey, what can you do?
And let's just end it there. You know, let's just end the Danielle is great.
The great Danielle.
That's what we need to take away from this ending segment.
That's right.
But thanks for coming on. We are about to run out of battery. Okay. Not necessarily time. If it was me, I'd be like, we can talk another 30 minutes. Like,
I'm actually supposed to be working today, so don't broadcast this before today. We can.
Oh no, it's not.
No, I'm kidding. I'm 100% kidding.
I was gonna say I'm not releasing it until next week anyway.
I'm salaried. I can work when I want to.
No, talk about it. Talk about it. You know?
I'm off. No. No, I enjoyed it, and we'll have to let my fangs settle in a little bit more and bring me back on. Yeah. When more people will know me.
Right, and me, of course.
And you,
because someone has to watch this.
Absolutely. And you, of course.
But what was I gonna say? Is there anything you want to plug real quick or whatever? Just anything?
I don't.
Any charities, any links, any businesses?
I think I've mentioned my charities, and I do know some people, but I would be remiss because I would miss somebody. So I don't want to mention anybody so that I don't leave anyone out.
I like it.
But do stay with Marcel Comics.
Yes. Prime patron visitor?
Yes.
Investor. There we go.
I am an investor.
Yes. That's the chick, Dionne V, the one you see across the scroll all the time. That's her. The first
Sorry,
name.
I am famous.
That's her. Yeah.
That's
So.
me.
So yes, Dionne
Thank you.
Vann, thank you for being here.
My pleasure, cousin. Anytime.
All right.
All right.
Cool.